Hello, welcome to our channel. My name's Tim, I co-founded a fish farm hub here in Uganda. A little while back we posted a video on our channel which went quite popular, which was 7 kilograms even possible? And the answer to that is absolutely. It's been a few months, but have a look at this. So this is the result of all the hard work that Mubarak and Samuel and Andrew have put in, and Kampuri are collecting the waste. You can see just how many maggots we have. And we've got a tremendous amount. Basically 7 kilos, we've smashed through that. The highest that we got so far is 22.5 kilos in one day, and the numbers are just going up. So certainly it's possible to get that many kilos per day, and it's the consistency that we're really after, and so that's what we're smoothing out at the moment. But we've got so many maggots, we've got a problem. So I'm going to show you that as we go into the polytunnel. You'll see all of the maggots that are lying around.
So these ones were escaping.
They were escaping from the top. Okay. We've got too many maggots, which is good. Good problem to have. So Mubarak and Andrew are collecting some of the maggots for the farm, so we're going to send these over and we'll feed them into the ponds. If you look a couple of videos back, you would have seen that. We're basically feeding the maggots to the fish because they're high in protein, and then sometimes when you send them in you get some of the frass, which is this organic matter here, this stuff, but actually this is actually good because it fertilizes our ponds, which we're happy with, which is what you're trying to do with ponds, and then the fish are getting a good high protein diet. So we've got a good problem, which is basically we've too many fish, too many maggots, but that's perfect because that's where you want, and it's because they're so prolific that you get a lot of maggots. So normally things like this we wouldn't encourage, because you don't want just substrate lying around, but because we had so many hatchlings, we've sort of improvised and put substrate here, and so any excess maggots we've dumped in here, and then we'll just sort of harvest them over time, rather than sort of waste them. And because the flies are in the cage, or most of the flies are in the cages, the love cages, it's not so important. You can see here all this water. There's actually some eggs there. Can you see flies aren't the brightest of things, and so sometimes they lay eggs where they shouldn't, so they've gone and laid eggs there, which is okay. We can collect that clutch, and then we'll go and check these in a moment and see how we're doing. So they've just emptied that one out and put the maggots that were on top in this one, because these are sort of mostly sorted.
These ones have grown.
These
We are
ones have grown.
targeting them for the polypupa.
Yes.
Because this
okay.
is a good size for the polypupa that can give us good fries that can provide enough.
Yeah, because these are quite big.
Nice
You can
eggs.
see the difference in size between these and these.
Because the smaller the polypupa, then the smaller the number of eggs laid. And this one is of a good size.
Yeah.
So it can be good for us.
So we're going to leave these. So we'll let these turn into pre-pupa, and then we'll turn them into flies, and then of course bigger flies, better, more eggs essentially, bigger individuals. And these maggots aren't quite so big.
Yeah,
And that's dependent on the waste that you feed. So if you,
this and this, these ones, but these ones have already turned into pupa.
Yeah.
So these ones we have to let them turn into pupa so that we can collect them for fries.
yeah. And I'll show you what Mubarak was referring to. So basically these ones here, these are the bigger ones, and then you put
So
this
here we are having
here.
the polypupa. These ones have already turned to polypupa. As we sort, we try to bring them here.
Okay.
You're seeing them. Some of them are here.
Some of the pupa in
So
here.
this one, the size is somehow bigger compared to
Okay.
the other ones we get from the other side. When you go inside, then I'll show you some of them that are there, but for them they have a small size.
Okay.
Now you find like you have these ones. See these ones.
Yeah.
These ones are of a small size. That means they will give you small egg, a little quantity of eggs compared to these ones which are somehow bigger.
So this is great for catching the trap for catching the shrew pupa, because these ones are bigger. We're trying to turn those ones into flies, and then these are going to the farm. And so here, what Mubarak is doing is just taking the top layer where the maggots are, and then he's putting them into that bucket, and then eventually they will all go away from the light. So they go down, and then you take some substrate off. And then you end up with less and less substrate because you're taking the top layer, which is substrate, and the maggots don't want to be there because it's near the light. And then you end up with more concentrating of maggots. And then these are the ones that were in the bottom of that basin, which are inert, they're not moving around because of oxygen. But what they'll do is they'll put them here, and then by tomorrow these maggots will have moved into this pile, and basically sort of rescuing them in a sense, letting them carry on with their duties. And then it's the same with this pile here. So, you know, in the future we're not going to be having these piles lying around, but I think you can see from this video just the enormous amount of success we've had. Just kilos and kilos of maggots, which is fantastic, and really what we were hoping for in this project, because, you know, if you're trying to feed thousands of fish, you need kilos and kilos of maggots, and so these bays are all full. And so collecting all the maggots from here, and, you know, the few ones the excess spillover that we have in those trays really allows us to do that. And in here we have more maggots that we're collecting today. You can see how they congregate here, and then that substrate at the top there, we'll just take that off. Mubarak's coming on doing this, so he just scrapes off some of the substrate, removes most of that, and then you end up with, you know, any excess maggots can go back in, that's fine, but you end up with concentration of maggots, and then you can more accurately weigh them. It doesn't need to be massively precise for us because we're feeding them in raw to the fish, so it's very good. Just see this one come in. Yeah. So this is another sign of the success. So this is all the pre-pupa from 2 days. It's 1.5.
This is for 2 days.
2 days. 1.5 from yesterday.
Yeah.
And then today is 2.5 kilograms of pupa. And we're talking about the size earlier. You can see the difference here. You have some that are much bigger than others. And what we obviously want is the bigger ones, because the smaller ones are, you don't get as, the flies are smaller, and then the amount of eggs that they can lay is less. So you want the bigger ones. And we think that's to do with the difference in temperature. So it's a bit.
The small ones were due to overloading.
Due to overloading.
The bays, yeah.
Okay, so we put too many in.
Not be enough.
Yeah.
Because so far here in this bay, for example, we have collected more than, now it is coming to around the 20. Because this bay and this one, that's where I've collected most of the allergy from.
Okay.
Yeah. So they have produced a lot because there were very many in the bays. So that's why we are getting these small ones.
So thanks very much for watching this video. It's great that you're with us on this journey. I know a lot of people are quite interested in the BSF, so I think you'll have seen some good progress, and we're now bumping up against new problems, which is, you know, too many maggots. How do we smooth out the production curve? And we've got some ideas for how we do that. So do stay tuned, and you'll see just how we sort of scale up as we go. But I hope that this is inspiring to you as you start your BSF journey. Do stay tuned, hit like, subscribe, so you can follow our progress and hopefully learn from our mistakes, and learn from our successes as well. So thanks very much, and see you in the next video.